What's up, guys? I love a good mystery novel. I think that they can be some of the most engrossing, delightful reading experiences. They really can be exciting, and today I'm doing a video on my top 5 mystery novel recommendations. Let's get right into it with the first thing that I have for you, which is The Alienist by Caleb Carr. It's 1890s New York City, Manhattan in fact, and there's a serial killer on the loose who's targeting children. The police can't manage to catch the guy, so they turn to the alienist, or the psychiatrist, Laszlo Chrysler, and his team of detectives. Because there aren't any clues in the case, Laszlo and his team are the first to create a criminal psychological profile, and they use it to try to box the killer in. 1890s Manhattan was a dangerous environment, and this atmosphere really contributes to the dark and suspenseful nature of this well-paced mystery. The characters here are unlike anything I've ever read before. Little Stevie Taggart is a young boy who's part of Laszlo's team, and he's a cigarette-smoking, cursing little guy. A man of the streets is Stevie Taggart, and I know that this is my favorite detecting team of all time. Not only was I caught up in their relationships with one another, but this is a historical take, and I appreciated the history lesson here as well. Caleb Carr is a historical and literary genius. It's no wonder they made a hit television program from this thing. I think that it's brilliant and original. Recommendation number 2, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo by Stieg Larsson. Harriet Vanger, a scion of one of Sweden's wealthiest families, disappeared over 40 years ago when she was a teenager. All these years later, her aged uncle continues to seek the truth about her disappearance. He hires Michael Blomqvist, a crusading journalist and a computer hacker named Lisbeth Salander, to try to get down to the truth of what happened to his niece so long ago. Now, this book reminds me of the board game Clue, a real whodunit, and although the plot and the general writing are above average, Lisbeth Salander steals the show. She's a young woman who's been treated very poorly in life. She's experienced a lot of severe abuse, and the reader comes to care about her. I think that fact is why this novel is so popular and why it has endured for so long. We love Lisbeth Salander. However, I must say that Stieg Larsson was a really good writer as well. And if you're in for a spooky whodunit, with a big rich family involved, and an ending that surprised the heck out of me, and I should have seen it coming, but I didn't, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo might be for you. The third one I have for you all is a novel named Killing Floor by Lee Child. Killing Floor is about a man named Jack Reacher who shows up in Margrave, Georgia, looking for information into the mysterious death of a guitar player named Blind Blake. Instead, he finds one of the largest counterfeiting operations in history, and he's arrested for murder. This novel introduces the character Jack Reacher to the world, and the reason I liked it so much was Jack Reacher himself. He's such an unusual guy, a former military policeman with no home, no car, no phone, no bank account. He's a bus rider, a wanderer, and a warrior for justice. He just shows up in a given town and shit hits the fan. He's kind of like Sherlock Holmes, but substitute a cocaine addiction for muscles and aggression. His personality is great, and it makes the novel well worth reading, even if it wasn't for all the mayhem that's going on around him. Something that I particularly liked about this one is that it seems to open up as strictly a murder investigation, but before you know it, there's a ton of stuff going on, and the story is not one-dimensional. I've read 3 of these Jack Reacher mysteries now. I've enjoyed each one of them thoroughly, and it all starts right here with Killing Floor. Book recommendation number 4, A Study in Scarlet by Arthur Conan Doyle. Now, this is an older classic, but give me a chance here, guys. A murder has been committed in London in the 1880s, and the local constables can't solve it. It seems like the perfect crime committed by the perfect murderer. The police contact Sherlock Holmes to see if he can help give them some insight into the murder, and this is the book that introduces the most famous detective duo in history, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Watson. Now, I thought this might be a boring read, and I was surprised when I started reading at how fun it actually was, and I was surprised at how broad this novel is. I was shocked at how much ground is covered in this relatively short read. And speaking on the personality of Sherlock Holmes, he's a cocaine addict. He actually injects cocaine into his arms. This is just the craziest damn thing, is A Study in Scarlet. I thought that it was a plausible and tightly woven mystery, and I was pulled right in. If you've been thinking about reading one of these old Sherlock Holmes novels, but you haven't quite been able to commit, I strongly urge you to read A Study in Scarlet. And finally, guys, my favorite mystery novel of all time, I'm talking about the controversial, adrenaline in novel form bestseller, The Davinci Code by Dan Brown. How do I even explain this one? While in Paris, Harvard symbologist Robert Langdon is awakened in the middle of the night by a phone call. The caretaker for the popular Louvre Museum has been murdered inside the museum, and his body is covered in baffling symbols. The authorities request some help from Robert Langdon, hoping that he can help them clear up the whole mystery. And before you know it, we're racing through the streets of Paris on a treasure hunt for the Holy Grail. This is the most suspenseful novel that I have ever read in my life. Dan Brown is truly a master at generating a high level of intrigue. Themes like religion, artwork, and crime work very well here. It's a masterclass in suspense and fast pacing. I remember sitting up in bed, my eyes bulging, fighting sleep, trying to finish it in one sitting. It took me 2 days to finish it, and it was the most action-packed reading experience that I've ever had. If you like twists and turns that logically add up, if you like a deep, multi-layered mystery with some characters that you can trust and some that you can't, give The Davinci Code by Dan Brown a try. And there you have it, guys, my top 5 mysteries. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to the channel if you enjoy reading as well. Thanks for joining me, everyone. I'll see you next time.